Welcome to the Hunt Fish Travel Podcast, the first and longest running female hosted hunting podcast. Fresh off the ATA train and gearing up for sturgeon spearing, she's helping you navigate your trip of a lifetime. And now, here's your hostess, Carrie Zilka.
Hello. This is actually a continuation of the conversation with Cody Rich about hunting blacktail in Oregon on episode 126. Only now we're transitioning over to elk hunting in Oregon. The show notes for this episode can be found at www.cz.net/EP127. But first, I have to give a huge shout out to a couple of people who left me some iTunes reviews. They were freaking so funny. The first one was Johnny7516 and the second one was 7ED7WA. Super funny reviews. Super funny. You guys totally cracked me up. Thank you so very much. Now, you guys have to get me your mailing addresses so I can send you some swag. Because in case anyone listening hasn't realized it yet, I reward those who leave me super clever and awesome reviews. So you too, send me a message through Facebook or Twitter or go to www.cz.net and send me an email through the contact page. So where I'll be. So next weekend is sturgeon spearing. Yay! I can't believe it's almost here. If you're not familiar with sturgeon spearing, just go to huntfishtravel.net, scroll down to the bottom. You can click on the photo of the sturgeon to be taken to a bunch of articles I wrote explaining what sturgeon spearing is, how it came to be, and all the gear one might use to take one of these incredible fish. If you don't already, you can find me on Twitter at Carrie Zilka, CarrieZylka. If you have Twitter, be sure to download Periscope and find me there. It's the same handle, at Carrie Zylka. You can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/heavymetalhuntress, or Instagram at Carrie Zylka. You can find me on LinkedIn or Google+. I think those are the only ones I'll be posting to. I mean, let's face it, I am only one woman. Although I will be posting something on YouTube after the fact, too. So I'll let you know when all that stuff is up. Speaking of YouTube, if you go to www.cz.net in the blog section, there is a cool little article on fishing in Hawaii that Trent Marsh wrote. In it, you'll find a link to the video he made with his GoPro. It's a lot of fun, so go give it a watch. I will also be in Kenosha this weekend, February 6th at Coins Bar. My husband's band is playing there. I did a bunch of live streaming at the last show, and that was a lot of fun. People seem to like watching them, and if you're a KISS fan, you definitely want to sign up to receive the Periscope notifications. Saturday, February 20th, I'm heading up to Castle Rock Lake for the family ice fishery and fundraiser, so if you're in the area, stop on out. Jim Campbell of Open Season TV pointed it out to me, and they will be up there filming an episode for their show that will air this time next year. I'll let y'all know when it's available for viewing, because they do a good job, so you should definitely check them out. That's really it for now. I have lots more events coming up, but I really just want to listen to Cody tell us how his sister went from let the bunnies run free to hardcore bow hunter and her very first elk hunt.
You know, my sister, it's funny because we grew up, my brother and I were hunting nuts, and my sister was like the animal person. Like every time we'd catch something in our trap, she'd set it free. And, you know,
Right.
Catch a fish, she'd set it free. And so she was always the animal lover. And, you know, she, her husband hunts, and I kind of picked up hunting, and she kind of always, jumped to different things. And a few years ago, she's like, I want to go hunting. It's like, yeah, whatever. And so she's like, no, I really want to go hunting. So yeah, whatever.
Quit punking me.
This goes on for like a year or two. And then finally, she ended up shooting a doe on her Willamette tag at her house. And she was like hooked, you know. She's like, oh, I want to go bow hunting. Yeah, whatever. And so she finally got a bow on her own, started shooting on her own. And like, you know, my brother and I didn't help her at all. Didn't push it at all. I was like, whatever, it's a fad. She'll get over it. But, you know, this goes on for like 4 or 5 years, and then she's like shooting her bow. It's like, all right, I'll give you a couple tips and this and that. And this last year, she was like, all right, well, I guess if you're going to be in this thing for 5 years, I guess that's a commitment. I'll help you, So I had kind of helped her bear season last year, and we went spring bear hunting and had a couple opportunities and just didn't work out. You know, it's a learning curve. And I told her that. And I was like, we went into this, I was like, you need to just not pass up anything. Just take every opportunity because they're all learning experiences. And sure enough, you know, we had a couple opportunities at bears, and it's just that learning curve of the timing and the things that need to happen and not rushing and rushing. And so she was beating herself up. And so I'm like trying to like, okay, don't beat yourself up. You're going to screw this up a lot before it becomes easy and it becomes successful. And so she beat herself up pretty good. And so then she shot her bow all summer and finally went elk hunting. So we packed into the wilderness this year elk hunting. And it was, I told her, I was like, hey, you can come with me on this wilderness hunt, but this is my hunt, like I'll set you up on a water hole here. And that's, I'm not playing guide the whole time because this is my hunt. And it seems like a mean thing to do, but no,
you're right.
When it's your sister, you're like, hey, come on, this is my thing. I've been doing this for years. And so I was going to set her up on some water holes. Well, we get in there and there's no water holes. And first night, we had a bull going and I ended up passing on the bull. And she was just like, oh my God, that was so amazing. And so I hunted another day and she kind of sat at the water hole. And I get back up there and I was like, there was a little bull over the hill when I was coming back. And I was like, look, I'll go see if we can call it in for her, It didn't sound big at all. And so we go over the hill. I'm looking for this bull. And he won't say anything. And finally he pipes off and he's like right there. And so we walk a little bit and it just gets super heated and it's just screaming. I mean, like the dream elk hunt everyone dreams of. Right. We're chasing this bull through because he took his cows and ran. So I'm just chasing him through the woods. We're screaming. My sister has no idea what is going on because this is really like the first time she's been in an elk situation and it's getting very aggressive and it's like just crack of daylight. And so we stop, and this bull had basically stopped and was standing his ground. So I just scream at him a couple more times, and I told my sister, I was like, "Hey, grab my bow off my bag." And she's like, "Can't even grab the bow." She's just like freaking out, And I'm like, "Calm down, you got time." And she's like, "I can't get the strap off. I can't get it." I'm like, "Just calm down, like you're fine." Well, that bull come on a full charge right at us, and I just like grabbed her, threw her on the ground. I was like, "He's coming from there to there," and I took off. And so I scoot back like 50 yards, and me and this bull are screaming, and it's like an intense bugling situation. And that bull slipped right out by her at 18 yards. And I was like, "Make sure you range the bull, not a tree or anything." And like that was the last thing I said to her. And she goes, "I was trying to range the bull, and I literally couldn't even keep it in the rangefinder. I was shaking so hard."
That's so cool.
So she ranges. Well, she ranged the tree behind the bull.
Oh, no.
No. And she goes, well, it took a minute before she get a shot or get drawn back. So she draws back. She goes, "I was actually surprisingly really calm when I drew back." And all of a sudden her peep was turned sideways. And so this whole time, and so she's like trying to fix her peep. And this bull is standing 18 yards. And it is a big bull. Like this is bigger than anything I've ever killed. It's standing 18 yards away from her. And I'm like, why is this not me up
right
there? But it was awesome, in hindsight. Like it was the greatest thing for her. She shot and missed, or she shot and drilled a tree. I mean, she killed that tree so good.
Oh no.
And well it's funny because she hit this tree and it didn't sound like a tree. It sounded like she hit the bull. And so she shoots and I'm like, no freaking way she just shot a 320 class bull. I'm like, no way. And it goes down the hill and it stops like it was hit, so I'm just waiting. But it never tipped over, and so it leaves, and so we get back up there. And she was like distraught when she found her arrow in the tree. Like, did not like me making fun of her, none of that. But it was like, I was like, this is the thing that will hook you for the rest of your life. Like, you can't not go elk hunting now. So we had a lot of fun. It was cool. Cool to see her like going through those first hunter moments. And,
yeah. That's really cool. That is so cool. Okay, so I guess that kind of segues into a good question. Other than blacktail and whitetail, you guys have a healthy elk herd in Oregon?
Oh, absolutely. We have one of the biggest elk herds in the country, really.
Why does everybody talk about Montana and Utah then?
Because they have the quality, they don't have the quantity. I mean, you talk about quantity and you look at Colorado, Montana and Oregon in top numbers, and we just don't have the management techniques aren't there for say the big size like Utah, Nevada, Arizona, even New Mexico. But as far as opportunities, there's a lot of opportunities in Oregon. I mean, you can come to Oregon, buy a tag, and go hunting. Done deal. You don't even have to put in, and yeah, you're not going to kill a 400 class bull. I mean, there's a chance. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not notorious for killing 350 to 400 class bulls. And I think that's what people hear. They hear Arizona and they hear Nevada and they hear Utah, and that's like even Montana,
That's awesome. I guess I never really realize that Oregon had a healthy elk population. I guess it's a western state. I mean, you're right there.
I mean, we pretty much have. Ooh, someone's gonna correct me on this, but I want to say we probably have elk in every unit in our state.
Sure.
At least close to it. I mean, there's, we have two different versions or two different species of elks. We have Roosevelts and we have Rockies. And,
really?
yeah. So you can hunt Roosevelts, you can hunt Rockies. Both can be done on a general season, and so two different species, and three different species of deer. We got bears. We got lots of wolves, but you can't shoot them yet. What else we got? We got all kinds of things. And the other thing, we didn't even talk about, but like turkeys, and turkey season's coming up, and in Oregon we actually have Merriam's and Rios, so we have both species. And so last year, Scott Ellis came out and was going to try to complete his turkey slam, single season turkey slam. We're actually going for a double, but so he flew into Boise and we hunted Merriam's in Idaho, and then just right across the river we went and tried to kill a Rio so he could complete his slam. So a lot of people don't think about, as far as slams for turkey, is that Oregon, Washington has both species and usually within driving distance of one another.
Yeah, that's interesting, and that's a really good point. Like you said, like if you are trying to complete a slam, it's a lot more convenient to fly into one area rather than flying into Nebraska and then heading north to the Dakotas or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people, they, go kill their Merriams and then they go to Texas and shoot for Rio. And, and so you can basically go to Oregon, Washington. There's areas, because we have them kind of scattered different portions throughout the state of Merriams and Rios.
Interesting. Boy.
Yeah.
I might be in love with Oregon.
Yeah, so you got all kinds of stuff.
It's a target-rich environment. I'm rethinking my South Dakota mule deer hunt next year.
That's right.
Maybe I should head more west.
One of the funnest hunts, one of my favorite hunts, because it's zero pressure and it's in my backyard as far as that goes, but it's a fun hunt, is that we go and do spring bear. And spring bear, most of the time you're hunting, the best spring bear hunting is between probably 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and then about dusk. But what that opportunity gives you is that we've killed bears at daylight, don't get me wrong, but usually we'll go turkey hunting in the morning. So we'll go out and just turkey hunt for a couple hours, and then about the time turkey hunting's dying down, and might as well go glass for some bears and do some bear hunting, and then bear hunting's good, we'll stay bear hunting, or if it's not, well, let's go find some turkeys in the evening, and so it's kind of, we get to do both on the same hunt, and that's one of my favorites.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Huh. That's really cool. Do you guys have any like hunting restrictions as far as like you can't hunt on Sundays, or you have to be done by 2:00 or anything like that?
No, we don't have any of those restrictions.
That's cool.
Do you guys have those, or is that
no,
only, I've seen them in the South.
No. Like, we're not Pennsylvania.
Oh. I was going to say, it seems like a Southern thing that wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, out West, I don't think any states have that, but
okay.
I could be.
It's such a weird, it's such a strange concept
I remember
to me.
First time I encountered that, I was like, what? You can't hunt on a Sunday.
You do that like puppy dog cocked to the left side, huh?
Yeah,
What?
What do I do? I don't understand.
I'm so confused. What? I know. Because that makes no sense. Well, very cool. Well, it sounds like Oregon is a place to go if you want to go hunting just about anything.
Yeah, pretty much. We have pretty good opportunities year round, So it's a good place to go. Like you said, it's more quantity, not quality. So,
yeah.
We still have good stuff here. Like we said, we killed a 156 buck this year. So
that's good.
That's a pretty good whitetail.
Heck yeah.
So, at least for us.
Yep. Well, cool. Well, why don't you tell the listeners more about where they can find your show and more about you?
Yeah, so you can check out my show. It's the Rich Outdoors Hunting Podcast. It's on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, most of the big ones. You can check out my website, therichoutdoors.net, and we have a full list. We'll have the show notes, and I'll usually add some things about whoever I'm interviewing. So we'll do like a list of equipment lists and things like that. So some kind of extra goodies and bonus things for everyone. Yeah. And then other than that, I guess hit me up on Facebook or Instagram, The Rich Outdoors.
Excellent. And that'll do it. Thanks so much for listening. Don't forget to find the show on iTunes. Just search for Hunt Fish Travel, all one word. Hit the subscribe button. You can also follow me on social media. Just go to huntfishtravel.net and click on the social media icon of your choice. Thank you for listening.